my god. I am literally screaming. Okay, but listen, you have to stop whatever you are doing right now because I cannot even deal with this and I need to talk about it immediately. I was literally just sitting here eating my dinner, minding my own business, scrolling through Instagram like a normal person, and I literally choked on my pasta. My jaw dropped. I had to pause my entire life and text my friend immediately because Maurice Benard just posted something and I am so emotionally compromised I can't even breathe. I'm dead. I am actually deceased. You know Maurice, right? The absolute legend who plays Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital, the literal mob boss of our hearts. Yes, him. He just shared this preview for an upcoming episode of his podcast, State of Mind, and honestly, I am in shambles. I am pacing my room. It is so raw and so vulnerable, and I just want to give this man the biggest hug in the entire world. Wait, before that happened, actually, can we just talk about Sonny on the show for a second? Because my brain is jumping all over the place and I keep remembering things out of order. On the show right now, Sonny is dealing with so much. Like, Jason Morgan literally just promised Sonny that he is going to end Ross Cullum before he flees Port Charles with Britt Westbourne. Which is insane, by the way. I am yelling at my screen every time they are on, and Carly is delivering warnings to Sonny. And even little Giovanni Gio Palmieri is going to Sonny for advice about his drama with Emma Scorpio Drake. Sonny is always the rock, right? He is always the tough guy, the mob boss, who has everything under control, steering everyone in the right direction. He is literally the most intimidating, powerful man in Port Charles. But in real life, Maurice Benard lives a much more vulnerable reality, and it honestly makes me love him a million times more. I am literally obsessed with how real he is. Okay, where was I? Right, so Maurice posts this preview for State of Mind this weekend, and he admits that the journey isn't always easy. He literally confessed, I will not lie to you, sometimes it starts getting difficult. The audacity of the universe to make this precious man struggle. Not okay. I am personally offended that he has to feel sad or overwhelmed. He is so proud of this mental health platform he's built, but it doesn't always sit easy with him. And, of course it doesn't. Digging deep into serious mental health issues every single weekend with different guests has to be so incredibly exhausting. I get exhausted just listening to my friends complain about their exes for 10 minutes. I cannot even imagine carrying the emotional weight of thousands of people's deepest, darkest mental health struggles. But the real-life Sonny Corinthos sticks with it. Why would he do that to himself if it hurts? Because he is an actual angel on earth, that's why. I forgot to mention earlier, but in the rest of his caption, Maurice told his ABC followers about the things in his life that kick-started the project in the first place. And don't even get me started on that because it is so pure it makes me want to cry. It wasn't about needing the visibility of being an influencer on YouTube. Like he is Maurice Benard. He already had a massive following from his decades on General Hospital. He doesn't need clout. He is literally soap royalty. Mark my words, nobody does it like him. He started this podcast to provide a place where people could watch and realize they aren't alone in experiencing what he goes through. He noted, if they can do it, I can do it, suggesting that seeing others overcome struggles makes the impossible seem not so hard to aspire to. I am wiping tears from my keyboard right now. It is so dramatic, but it's also just the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, let's go back to how it all started, because this is wild. Maurice launched State of Mind during the 2020 lockdowns. Do you remember the lockdowns? I literally cannot even think about that time without spiraling. Loads of people hated the isolation of that, and mental health issues seemed way more serious. We were all just trapped in our houses, baking banana bread and losing our absolute minds. Coupled with the anxiety about the 24/7 scary news coverage, it's not unexpected that it brought mental health issues into the fore. I was literally a mess. And what does Maurice do? He starts informally chatting about mental health on Instagram Live. Just him in his house talking to us. And it escalated into rather a hot topic. People were flocking to it because we were all so desperate for connection and honesty. Over time, it became this incredibly high-quality podcast on YouTube and other channels. Honestly, it is now a well-regarded platform for him as a mental health advocate. He and his guests take these massive deep dives into the silent struggles that so many folks face on a daily basis. And I need to make something very clear right now. It would be completely wrong to think that the State of Mind podcast simply helps Maurice pass the time, sort of like a hobby. No. This is his life's work. Decades ago, when openness about mental health wasn't so frequent, like people literally did not talk about this stuff back then. It was so taboo and unhinged, he went public with his bipolar disorder diagnosis. He took his real-life world and brought it into the General Hospital daytime soap. He literally pitched it so Sonny Corinthos would have bipolar disorder too. My jaw dropped when I learned that. He superseded a storyline written around mental health in a soap opera into a tangible effort that reached a lot of people each week. Iconic. Truly iconic behavior. And then he brings in many TV stars, celebrities, co-stars, and athletes onto his podcast. He is just sitting there getting these huge names to open up about their deepest traumas. It is literally therapy for the masses. But the thing that really gets me, the thing that honestly makes me want to throw my phone across the room because I am so overwhelmed with emotion, is this whole suffering for others thing. This weekend's reminder relates to other recent mentions about Benard's own experiences with mental health problems. In some previous discussions, he talked about how his advocacy comes from a place of deep personal history. During his birthday podcast this year, which I listened to while I was on the treadmill, and I literally had to stop running because I was crying. So hard, he talked about how he suffers so he can help others from suffering the same way. I'm screaming, I suffer so others don't have to. Who says that? A literal saint, that's who. Talk about being an open book. Actually, it seems so admirable that Maurice takes apart the stigma that so often surrounded mental health in the past. He is literally out here doing the heavy lifting for society. But here's the thing that makes me so mad. Like, I am actually fuming right now. The only puzzling aspect is that he does it alone on his podcast. Why hasn't some major outlet picked him up to piggyback a program? I am calling it now. The networks are sleeping on a gold mine. For example, the way News Nation hooked up with Ashley Banfield's podcast Drop Dead Serious, why isn't a major network picking up State of Mind? It is literally the most important content on the internet right now. Seriously, I need someone to explain this to me because it makes no sense. The man is a television icon. He has the audience, he has the charisma, he has the raw emotional depth. He is doing the work that actual news anchors and talk show hosts wish they could do. And he is doing it all while filming General Hospital. Which, by the way, the show is so stressful right now. I keep thinking about Jason leaving town and saying goodbye to Danny and being terrified of Cullum, and Jordan's pregnancy drama with Portia and Curtis. Like, Portia is going to expose Jordan's pregnancy. The drama is non-stop. And Maurice is just balancing all of this intense acting with this incredibly heavy real-life mental health advocacy. I can't even deal right now. She needs to get it together. I swear. Wait, I'm talking about Portia now. Sorry, my brain is literally a sieve today. Back to Maurice. What are your thoughts on Maurice remaining dedicated to mental health even though sometimes it isn't so easy? Because my thoughts are that we do not deserve him. We literally do not deserve this man. He is putting his own mental well-being on the line, digging up his own trauma, facing his own demons every single week. Just so some random person scrolling YouTube feels a little less alone in the dark. It is the most selfless, unhinged, beautiful thing I have ever witnessed. I am just so invested in this. I feel like these are real people doing real things. Well, Maurice is a real person, but you know what I mean. I get so wrapped up in the Sonny of it all, the mob boss who shoots first and asks questions later, that when Maurice drops these deeply human, profoundly sad, but hopeful truths, it just wrecks me. I am literally going to go rewatch every single episode of State of Mind right now. I don't even care that I have a massive project due tomorrow. This is more important. Mental health is more important. Maurice Benard is more important. And don't even get me started on the people who don't appreciate him. If I see one negative comment on his Instagram, I am personally fighting them. I will literally throw hands. He is out here admitting that it gets difficult being so raw and honest, and if anyone tries to bring him down, I will go full Sonny Corinthos on them. Mark my words. Anyway, I am just so overwhelmed by this whole situation. I needed to vent. I needed to get this out because my heart is just so full and so broken for him at the same time. He is a legend, an icon, and the ultimate advocate. Okay, I'm done. I literally need to go drink some water and calm down because my heart rate is through the roof.